there, and welcome to Hectic Eclectic. Today we're going to talk about book genres. Are you limiting yourself by only reading in specific genres? I never really gave much thought to people who say, I only read horror, or contemporary, or science fiction. After all, I too only read in certain genres. I guess I assumed it was just a matter of taste. The elements that are common in those stories tend to appeal to us, whether it's the escapism, the realism, or the thrill factor. However, what if we're limiting ourselves? What if, by reading in a small subsection of the wide variety of genres out there, we're missing out on a lot? Yes, it's true, there needs to be good world building and character development and an enticing plot in every story. But each genre is known for and often focuses on specific aspects or storylines. Having chatted with readers and writers, I've noticed a few genre trends. Princes and princesses exist predominantly in fantasy, rebellions exist predominantly in dystopians, and stories that deal with social aspects are often clustered inside contemporaries. In other words, crossover elements are actually quite limited, meaning there is a menagerie of scenarios, topics, plot elements, character types, and who knows what else that we might be missing out on because we only read in a handful of genres. And what kind of effect does this have on readers? Well, for one, we're not taking the opportunity to broaden our minds or imaginations. Isn't that what reading's all about after all? Well, besides the entertainment factor, reading's always been about seeing new worlds and stepping into someone else's shoes. But if we're only reading in one or two genres, aren't we just stepping into slight deviations of the same shoes? That's like only interacting with people of one culture and never getting to know another culture and experiencing how their way of life could change us and our viewpoints. I'll use myself as an example because humility is key, right? Well, many of you may have noticed from the books I review that I stay squarely in the realm of fantasy and sci-fi. Every once in a blue moon, I'll read horror or historical fiction or some other niche genre, many of which do not get enough love, by the way. But I'm missing out on so much. Suspense can exist in any genre, but horror does it best, wouldn't you agree? The whole point of the horror genre is to be, well, creepy, but also to be suspenseful, to keep you on the edge of your seat. Other genres don't really do it justice, or worse, they don't do it right at all. Imagine how well authors could write suspense in their action, sci-fi, contemporary genre if they took the time to read horror to better understand the elements that make a good suspenseful scene. Pretty amazing, I would think. Another example is romance. Yes, there is a romance genre, and yes, many other genres put romance into their stories. But how many of them do it well? How many of them create realistic romances between two or more characters? If you're like me, you're not coming up with very many non-romance stories. But there are good romances out there. Not that I would know, because I'm still struggling to broaden my mind in that direction. And instead of grumbling about a bad romance in a YA fantasy book, readers could jump into the romance genre to get a taste of what a good romance plot is like. They would be broadening their minds and enhancing their tastes. Now, I'm not saying you need to stop reading your favorite genre completely or even mostly. I'm just saying you may be missing out on quite a lot, especially if you're the type to write off an entire genre before you even really gave it a shot, which I'm guilty of. So maybe try a new book in a genre you don't normally read. Try another. Give it a shot because you never know. You may end up liking a brand new genre. And your TBR will hate you for it. I'm pretty sure you guys now officially know what my favorite genres are, but I want to know what your favorite genres are. Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week with another video on Hectic Eclectic. Bye! Princesses exist predominantly in fantasy. Rebellions, because we only read in a handful of topics, genres. Imagine how well authors could write suspense in their action, horror, change us and our viewpoints. So try maybe. Yip 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 yip. What does the fox say? Yip yip I actually don't know the order. Alright, enough rambling about